sky when we walked in fields of gold. So she took her love for to gaze a while among the fields of barley. In his arms she fell as her hair came down among the fields of gold. Will you stay with me? Will you be my love?
Thank you. You know, it's always quite a bit of a test to start off your morning like this.
Slow rumba?
Slow rumba, and we need to do the full thing. Now, I would like to start, in our dance mind, in our world, we would like to kind of, in the wave paper, describe, and I hope you will see it all,
I don't know, can you?
how we see our development of dancing. We would like to put it in different boxes. I know both we and you Germans love boxes, so therefore we will start with that. And I will try to get this straight.
Skulle jeg prøve at holde den en gang?
Maybe. This first box is our the actuality of what we're doing. It's the technique, footwork, placement of feet, choreography. That's the first box. This has to do with all the things we read in the book. It's all the actualities of what exactly are we doing. So we could describe this as what we are doing, the what. Yeah? So we call that a what. Now a different area to work on is the next box, which would be the how. How do I do it? So if we write how, it has to do with the coordination. How do I actually get this technique, the footwork, the actual choreography of what we've been doing? How do I then manage to get the body in the right coordination? So that has to do with coordination.
And it has also to do with the timing of the different kind of choreography we have. So the timing and the coordination together. So coordination.
Yeah, we write it timing.
So taking all these kind of decisions, making clear what it is.
Could also be the speed. So there's the clarity of the speed, and we put that under timing today. So the timing is a big thing. It's not only to do with counting. It's not about only 2, 3, 4, 1. That's down here. So that's the actually.
So it's a step further.
Step further.
Yeah.
Now, the last box,
or the third box.
Top box, the third box.
We have 4 boxes.
4 boxes. Maybe I would like to ask you actually. What do you think that the third box would be in terms of dancing to make it more complete? We have what we are doing, we have how we are doing it, and there's another question we could ask ourselves, which makes it much more interesting.
It's also a decision to take. The last one is you decide again some subject which is missing in all this technique, coordination. We have something else we could actually take a decision on. So, do you have any...
No bad answers or questions. You can just say.
What do you want to portray? Exactly.
Exactly. What can we call that? Another word maybe for that? Portray? But it's a good word. We put it on.
Yeah, I think it sounds very good.
Other words for this? Do you other guys, are you along with your colleague here about what we want to portray? What does that get into as well? Maybe another word, another idea of this could be?
Expression?
Wonderful.
Very good. So taking a decision on how you want to actually have the whole thing to look like, yeah? Which sometimes is just a feeling. We just feel it. And I think...
so feeling would be nice?
Yeah?
A feeling?
So...
And what I said in the first word I actually used today was quite funny. Intention. What is my intention with this?
Of the whole thing. Ja?
And we could, in other words, call this the why. Why are we doing it?
Yeah.
So we put this here. And the trick is
what, how, why.
To make the what, the how, and the why melt into one big illusion, and we call that, if that happens, that there is a congruency between the different things. And that's a special word which I just looked up in the dictionary. And we will call that congruency.
So everything is melting together.
So
we take all these kind of decisions, and in the end, everything is melting together, and we don't want to see anything other than just enjoying the dancing. That's what we think.
So you can go home and look up congruency. I just did that on my iPhone, which is online. And congruency is a kind of an agreement with different parts. And it's not that it's a unity. It's not that it's totally the same. But it all has its own place. So we could nearly give it a feeling that I make a big round circle. And inside that circle, all this is existing to create a memorable experience for people to see dancing when it's at its best. Yes?
Today we actually decided not to work on these two areas. We just want you to be clear that it's a very big part of our dancing, that we have been working on these two areas for the whole life, and we will still do it. But we believe that this is more or less what everybody is talking about, and it is the most important thing in the dancing, to actually be able to do this. But today we have decided actually to go more into that area up here, to give a new challenge for us as well, because we have actually been, as I said, very much in this area and want to be able to push that even more, and actually to do that in front of you as well, so you can see a difference. That's our project today, to be more clear of taking decision of the choreography, the intention of the whole thing. And in the end, we will try to do it with different kind of music, and hopefully everything will disappear. But because we took all these decisions, we can actually show you different kind of emotions through the whole setup. You understand what I mean?
And it's very important for us to be clear. We wrote this as building blocks. And we feel a bit that we start down here, and it's very difficult to start up here if you're not basing it on your technique, and then you coordinate your body and you fine-tune it, and then when you are around here, then you have to add this to make it really a memorable experience.
And we believe very much...
We see a lot of couples in the dance world who is very much about this before they have even done the right work. And at a certain point, their development stops because they can't build any higher. And therefore, the house falls together. And sometimes they get frustrated, they stop dancing because they do not understand why they suddenly are getting beaten by other couples who were maybe not so fast in their development and getting good results so early. Then other couples like Kristina and me, that's interesting, we have kind of kept down here quite a bit. For a long, long time.
Very long time.
And people were not really getting the point. They were kind of, Peter and Kristina, that's a funny couple. I mean, I don't really get it.
They're lacking something.
They're lacking something. There's something wrong with these two. And we have a few people who love us because they see and understand what we're doing. And they understand the the work that has been going through, but actually in our own world, we would love to add that. And that's since we've been professional, we have really focused on this area, the why, to kind of make sure that we get the right intention out to people who see
to the audience, to people who actually look at us.
Yes. So, and I also would like to make clear that this is also describing the way we practice a bit. So if we put a line here, you could say all this has to do with our slow practice. So when we practice at home, we would call this the slow practice, or the practice where we are making decisions, where we are finding out in details what we want to show. And because this is quite fast, you see this is quite big on this piece of paper, and because that takes a lot of time, this is the biggest part of our dancing. On top of this, we will call it, this is the...
this is actually the fourth box.
The fourth box, we call it the model train. Let's call it that.
Where we are testing. Model. Testing.
And I just need to look at my paper. This is all about performance. We need to practice this as well. So we add all these things and hopefully we get a clear idea. Now we have to put it into reality. And that's where we during the week practice full-on performance as a model training, a testing of how can we put ourselves in this mode of performance. If I'm either in this box, if I'm in this box, I'm not really free to be performing. So in a way we need to let go of everything, and then there's nothing, and then there's a lot of stuff happening, which people see. So there's no mind thought blocking the communication right now between you and us, where we are delivering the message.
So in this box, it's very important that you're not judging yourself. It's just all about letting go of all the things you know and just see what happens. And afterwards, after that, the whole setup of the model practice, you would, after that, when you're feeling a little bit more calmed down, you can actually discuss how was it? Was it something we missed a bit, that area a little bit more. We need to practice more on this next time we go into a slow practice, or we need to concentrate more on this area. We take decision afterwards, after we actually did this. We're not speaking that much in this.
The less we speak, the better.
Yes, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. It's difficult to act. Sorry.
My little adjustment of Kristina, where I would like her to be in a different place than she was, would come out like this. What the hell are you not like that?
Yeah.
Because the pulse is going and then the communication is not so clear. So it's a very good idea to calm down and then we speak.
Yeah.
Now, this has to do with music.
Yeah. So this.
Okay, performance. So this area
Is of course.
is about senses. Open your senses. So we call all the senses. And including that would be the hearing. How do we feel the music? How do we... I open myself up. I let go of all my ideas and stuff, because hopefully it is a bodily memory. It is in my body. I do not need to check it. I do not need to say, well, and then I wanted that, and then that, because then I'm already lost in my way of communicating with music and with the audience. Another sense could be your eyes.
What do you look at?
What do you see?
What do you see?
What is the room? This room today is a bit
High.
low lighting, not very bright. You are about 30 people. How is the energy of this? How does it feel in your body? How much do we need to push it? And we'd like maybe, if we got time for this later, that to play around that, how we would adjust to the audience. Let's say it's a small hall, people are very intimate and close. It would be very bad of us to ignore that fact. So if we were full on, yeah, and people are, and then it feels
Wrong.
too much, yeah? On the other hand, if it's a huge hall in Germany or France, 8,000 people and there's at least 50 meters to the nearest person, it would be maybe wrong to say yes. Ah, yeah, that's great. Because it might be that you will not receive our message the way we wanted it to be. So that's another thought about this. So it's the hearing, it's the seeing to relate to the actual hall we are in. It is the smell, it's the sensation of the energy, the other couples around us. How much are they pushing it? And where do we fit in? That's very easy on a show. We know the music, we know our choreography, everything is set. In a competition, it is danger zone. And therefore we need to be alert and be ready and be competing. And that's very, very important. So you could call it competing as well. And the way is that we are in effect realizing that there is people around us. It's no good to close ourselves in and say, oh, okay, it's my own world. Oh yes, but it's me and it's all my stuff. Because they are there. They have to be a part of our performance. That's the total picture. I'm not saying that we are looking at them, measuring, judging them. Are they good? Are they bad? But we just have to put ourselves in the relationship to what is going on the floor. So that was a big part of this competing. So therefore, we feel that this performance area is something which sometimes is misunderstood in the practice, where people are mixing this together. And then we are doing a physical practice, but at the same time there was a little technical thing, and then, no, I didn't feel, and then the timing, and we have to, and then everything goes blurry, and we don't really develop. So we feel for us, Kristina and I, it has been a great liberty to kind of get a clear idea how to separate. And there's many ways of doing this. This is just our way, but it hopefully is a system that could maybe inspire you to go home and get a clear communication through to your students that mixing this is maybe not so great.
And I think as well, what is very important to actually be able to do this, it is actually very important, I feel, to be very clear about this one. Because if you don't take the decision on how you want to feel the movement or make people look at you in a certain way, I think this will never ever be totally perfect. It will always be something we just feel. So if I have a bad day, I don't really feel for dancing today, but I have to, it's the World Championship. I actually, because I've done this, I took a lot of decision. I have some tools in my body, in my mind, what I need to focus on. Then I'm actually a lot better in this area up here. If I only practice these areas, it's very difficult. If you have a bad day, if you feel tired, if you are a bit sick, but you really need to go and do a competition to actually perform very well. You will see that I'm sick or if I'm this or that. If you take the decisions, I think it's much easier to actually fake a good performance. Fake is not a negative word in my opinion. It's something we all do more or less to actually be able to perform something. If I have to speak to you, or if I have to dance a competition, if I have to be in my family, I am another person. So it's all about putting yourself in a place where you feel comfortable and where you can actually use your tools to convince in every decision or any place you need to be. So that's why we want to do a bit more in that area.
So how does this sound that we will do the why today? Is that all right for you?
Hopefully
I
it
hope.
is.
Otherwise we're in trouble. Now, what we will do in this rumba is we're going to take you through it now and explaining and putting our feelings, our intentions, our ideas individually to let you experience what has gone through to make a performance like we did in the beginning. And hopefully when we do that, actually our body remembers even better, and let's see what happens if we push that a little bit harder and see...
So in the beginning we did a small piece of choreography, and of course we took all decisions about the technique, about the time, about the coordination through the body, it's all set. Hopefully you can see that. That's not what we want to talk about now. It's actually more simple things we want to put in to show you now. It's about how much I stretch or how do I look. It could be also a throw. It could be something which is more inside myself, that I feel my body is inside, or if I want to go more out to see something which is more outgoing. It's all about different small things which we have taken a decision on.
And it might be different between Kristina and I, because
it would be
we are very, very different.
We are very
so
different.
in my world, I would come up with words that make sense for me, and you would probably think, he's crazy. Why does he think like that? But anyway, it makes meaning, it gives me meaning, and therefore I do it. And that's the why. I need to have a why to be able to do it convincingly.
Yeah.
So
and it is very different from people. It's not, okay, we are a man and a woman think different, so of course it will be different. Mine is a lot more about my feeling or pictures or a woman I have seen or something that makes me actually feel these kind of things, where Peter is much more about...
I don't want you to judge me. I'm just what I am.
I'm not judging. I'm just saying that it is very different from people to people how this kind of things are triggering them. So it's not a set thing. It's something you have to feel in the person, what is working for the individual. Yes? So it's not a rule. It's just how we do it. And then you have to feel what kind of student you have, what kind of ideas they will trigger them to actually show the performance. Okay. You start.
I start?
Yes, you start.
All right, I start. Let me see.
So
I have first of all a feeling that the first part, I need to make sure that I get Kristina's attention, and that the first step I'm doing, I have a feeling that I want to make an acceleration inside myself to catch her attention. I give her my hand, and then that stretching and kind of acceleration changes into a flow into my body, and I set itself up to accelerate in a bodily. I go into a hip, a very clear definition of my hip. So if I do that again, I continue. So the next thing is I want to give Kristina a feeling. So I do my hip action to kind of get her a feeling that I'm really driving into her. I take the next step, and that is a kind of a breaking myself, and I'm feeling that she's disappearing away from me. And from this action, I'm actually trying to get a flow of my body starting, indicating Kristina to go into a spiral. And in this position would be for me a very clear focus about what she is doing, what am I doing with her. I continue. Oh, sorry, I will do it.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I get it. I do it again.
So it's all about you.
It's all about me, not you.
What do you
Sorry
want
about
to
that.
show?
Thank you.
Should I stay here?
It's not about you, is it? I will start. I've explained all this. I sense it. Bring you in with my body first. I stop my body, and that goes into a flow through my chest, and I take... Okay, are you with me?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm here, stretching in my body. I let my chest go first to indicate Kristina. I change her.
Sorry, I did wrong.
Here. I'm stretching. I'm taking the chest to make Kristina go this way. She twists this inside. With that twist, I'm staying strong inside myself. I feel it's a hip action I want to show. And then I'm going to accelerate and feel I want to create a strong impact into a line of myself. Now I'm focused down, I feel inside that I'm changing that into a flow out, and I want to give that to somebody outside me. I withdraw into myself, I go through in an acceleration and stretching, let Kristina go, and then I catch her with my arms. Stretching inside myself, and I go accent into this next movement. I accelerate, I catch her, I feel that I'm taking her inside my body, settling in. I would go into a flow from here, and that would change into a stretch, 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 and I will take my body away from her to catch her here. Now we started. That was difficult for me.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
So, now it's my turn. And this is very different. I would do it very different. What works for me is very different words. And I feel much more about myself as a feeling. So, of course, we start with this. I feel myself very toned, very inside myself, and I really give Peter a feeling, or the audience a feeling, that I'm very inside, I'm very calm, and I'm starting to build up an energy which is catching into an arm, a stretch through myself to actually withdraw in to my leg with a lot of speed, and continuing in myself here to start nearly make myself continue nearly feeling myself in the space floaty to stop straight into a turn, which is very much about my feet, how they are nearly feeling the movement before I let go, and feel the audience, taking the audience to me into a stretch clear. So from this was nearly a piece for me that is completed. It started from the beginning, how I went taking Peter in, the way I move myself in the space of feeling slower, direct with the leg into a turn to take the audience with me into a stretch. And that's my first section, I feel. Okay? Then this one, I feel that I'm very extreme in the stretch, and I feel nearly that it goes in through myself before I feel the slash, really a slash. I feel a slash. I don't know if you feel that, but it's like I swing myself. It's not that I just go down. It's not a feeling of a just go, but it's nearly like it swings to get out. It's not just down and go, yeah? So I feel this will be a swing to move and collect Peter. And this, that I really put attention to how I actually touch him, or the way my leg is going out and going in to build up the energy togetherness again. Yeah? I feel that I nearly go through my whole body up to go inside to move away. And that intention of being direct with Peter into the next where I turn, and the idea of really thinking about that turn makes it more clear. I feel that now you have to see my hip. It's my hip, my inner feeling of the hip that goes through the body into a lift, which I feel is nearly holding still in the air before it melts into the body, into the leg, into a sit, direct sit. Clear? This is difficult. speaking a lot.
See,
But this, oh sorry, you go.
well, it's quite clearly that it is a difficult thing about this why, because what is it? It is not speed change, it's not space, it's not this, it's all those things, and it makes a personal intention about what you want. And we want to make that clear, it's a personal thing. We can use techniques to say, it's my spatial awareness. How does that feel? How do I feel in space? How do I feel in relation to time? How do I feel with all those? These are tools to make this stronger. But in the end, it's only a tool as well. And if it becomes a fact that it's a spatial thing, and it's a time thing, it's still a technique. And then we are disappearing down in the technique area.
And again,
so we just wanted to make it clear that the why is a personal, very, very profound feeling that this is me doing that, and this is all about my step. What does it make me feel? And it's encouraging the student to kind of find their own way, instead of saying you have to do it a little more space, and then it becomes a bit from the outside. Play with the student about what can they get across and what is personal for them, when do they look the best in themselves.
Okay. In this piece of choreography, we could have chosen to take a lot of other decisions. For instance, I was talking about a slash. Could also be that I just decided to go from that into a hip to something that goes out. So again, which could be very different. Or if I took that one where I get in and I decided that I want to show that leg to go into my body and then disappearing into us. We could also, that I just would choose to stand on my leg, being more concerned already from the beginning that I want to see Peter. I want to make that body movement before. That is all a decision which is very important that we take. And we took our decision, and hopefully you can see more clear what the message is when we dance it. It is very difficult to dance it and explain it together, but hopefully you got small ideas of, yeah, there was something about that they wanted to stretch. There was something about that she wanted to make a swing feeling. There was something about a leg into pizza. That is all small decision. Hopefully you can see that when we do it. Yeah?
So we will try to practice that now, very slowly, without us speaking, because apparently it's a bit frustrating to speak and sense all this at the same time. So let's try to do a few.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
So hopefully you could see that all the decision we took, which we explained you before, was more or less there. Of course, we take decisions and then we feel. So, because this is a hall where people are sitting a bit everywhere, and it's a big hall, but it's quite warm and it feels comfortable now. So we feel that we get the more comfortable feeling of it. And it's quiet and everybody's quiet, so we feel as well that we get a bit more quiet when we do it. We could actually do it now. We have some kind of different music. You will speak later.
Can you feel she's taking over a bit? I feel a bit...
I feel good. No. What's new now? I got out of it. We have kind of different music which we would like to play around with, to show you how, of course, we have decided these things, but of course the music gives us different kind of feelings. And hopefully you can see that we are changing, not the thinking, not the how we are doing it, but of course we take in that music and that will create something new. And that's what we talk about. The last one, performance, is what we are trying to actually do now. So we are relating to the environment, the music, everything.
And also, when we did this slow, this is practice.
Yeah.
Slow practice. So we are doing this so much that our body gets it. How much is that? Well, actually, people say that a new habit takes around 3 months to settle in your body. So the good explanation, good old one, is about the bicycle. You have your old bicycle, it's a wonderful bicycle, it's a bit shaky, but it feels good. You get a new bike, totally state of the art, the newest, the most perfect. It feels not so good. You sit on it, it's new, yes, but it's different. It's not, the saddle is a bit funny, and after 3 months, it feels okay. You come back to your old bike, and it feels totally strange. And that is what we call the body intelligence. It's not, we cannot think about this. This is something we have to teach our body and accept that the body has an intelligence, if we can call it that, a body intelligence on its own, and it's not in control with our thought. It's not intellect, it's a bodily feeling. And it's a very slow learner, but it's very good at remembering.
Yes.
So that's a good thing. So we want to try now to perform. So now we give you an example of what we did in the details of this. We want to now try to do it with different music, and hopefully you can see a difference. What comes out, what happens right now. It's not so set that we are locking ourselves into a slot, that this is the way to do it, and we do it every time, no matter how many people or what the feeling is. So that is the point. I would like to say something, if I may.
Okay. It's okay.
I don't know what you felt. That's all up to you. I felt a great sensation of heaviness. It was dark. It was much more earthy. It was much more about my hips. I felt more bodily inside here. The first dance we did this morning, I felt more airy. I had to answer back what I got from this music. And it has to be new every time. It's a new moment, and that's the task as a dancer, to practice ourselves doing this, because this also takes practice. We cannot just do it out of nowhere. We need to set our mind to this, and hopefully we will get better and better by years of experiencing this state of mind. Let's try another one.
Try another piece of music.
Number 3.
Somewhere deep inside, something's got a hold on you, and it's pushing me aside. See it stretch on forever. I know I'm right. the first time in my life. That's why I tell you, you better be home.
And hopefully it comes across, it's a different feeling. I felt happy,
Yeah.
I felt joy, it was
Playful.
playful,
Yeah.
and that hopefully comes across. And the more we do it, the longer through the day we do it, it gets better and better. Remember, it's still morning, so somehow it feels pretty all right for beginning, yes? Now,
I think I would like to do it one more time, and I think we should do it with the first piece of music we did in the morning, so you can see the difference, because that is more, you know, airy or something like that. And I would
so
like
now
to
we put you
through
so you see the difference.
Three different. Of course, you saw the first one, but we didn't have the thought as we have now. And now I would like you to see the different kind of rumba with the first piece of music. Yes, please. So we take the last one.
You remember me when the west wind moves among the fields of barley. You can tell the sun in his jealous sky when we walked in fields of gold. So she took her love for to gaze a while among the fields of barley. In his arms she fell as her hair came down among the fields of gold. Will you
So hopefully I think you can see the difference, that we do different things. We are not changing your choreography, we're not changing the intention of what we want to do, but of course we relate to the whole setup we are getting or hearing, and that's very important for us, that you can see the difference in that moment we are doing it.
And very important, because that's what we feel goes out in competition training, is to become so set and so rehearsed that you do not allow this to happen. We do not allow it to happen, and therefore people look at it and go, yes, same again. And actually, I feel the same again in myself as a dancer, so I get bored. And somehow when you're bored, you're not really in the moment. It feels like a machinery, you put it on, you press the button and it goes, finished, and that's the feeling you get to people. So we want to stress that. We have to practice all this, but we also have to let go, and then the performance arrives, and that we need to practice as well. It's really a conscious practice. It's not to go in the evening when we practice this model training, to say, okay, I want to feel good today. I want to, yes, and I did that one right, and yes, I had a good practice today because it felt right, it felt good. Or that it worked. I did no mistakes, and that one, what I had practiced was good, yes, that was great. Actually, I have to practice this. So I have to put my focus the right way.